Welcome back to Diary of a Speed Reader. Today's book, To a Young Jazz Musician by Wynton Marsalis, and I'm giving this one 5 stars. I have been a fan of Wynton Marsalis for over 25 years. The man is so brilliant, top of his field for a very long time. And what's crazy is the wisdom bombs that he's dropping left and right are valuable, whether you're a musician or whether you just want to be great at the thing that you are doing. It was so hard to choose 3 things, but ultimately I did. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you, February is African American History Month. If your bookshelf is looking a little bit not diverse, we can correct that very easily. Have a look at the books that I'm recommending this month. They are all 4 and 5 star and worthy reads. Now, let's get into the 3 things I was limited to choosing. The first thing really to me is like next level manifestation. Everybody's all into manifestation these days. And he's talking to this young artist, and you know there's all kinds of questions that are the prelude to this, but he's like, listen, you are the best creation that you will ever make. And then it goes on to talk about where the heart of jazz really comes from. It comes from the soul. So if you're gonna like do all these improvisations and know what to do in the right place in the right time, that's gotta come from making you the best you. But you think about what that implies for like all people that are trying to go for greatness. Let's say you're trying to create money, you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you're trying to be all these things. Well, it all starts with you and what you make yourself as. Now, the second thing is about being a nerd about the thing you're trying to be great at. And it's so fascinating. He's talking to Coltrane in this chapter and giving you wisdom bombs from that guy. But what it comes down to is this. Basically, he's saying, look, I tell everybody practice, but I feel like maybe I'm not telling them enough. And he says that every moment that you're in the action, every moment that feels like you're prepping for it, or you're practicing, you're even playing, you got to be in the game and knowing what you're trying to do purposefully. I think that's true no matter what field you're doing. If you're like in some kind of finance job, every time you do the spreadsheet, you think about what is the small takeaway I can take away from this. If you're doing this kind of film, Instagram, social media, try to get better and incrementally better. That's what he's talking about. I mean, it's just brilliance. The last thing is arrogance and humility. But we got to remember, this Wynton Marsalis we're talking about here, I mean, it's like the Einstein of jazz, you know what I mean? So he means something so nuanced here as relates to arrogance. He's talking about self-arrogance. I mean, he doesn't care. You want to be arrogant to other people, it is what it is. But when you're arrogant to yourself, you stop yourself from being truthful. And that core truth, that deep, deep place inside you is where brilliance is going to happen. So you got to get over that arrogance and whatever it is you think you can't do, or you think you're too good to do, whatever it is, you got to just get in there. Now, the second thing about humility is so nuanced, because what he's really saying throughout the book is that truth is the truth. There's no need to be anything else but the truth. And he tells this story where he goes to the club. He's the hot new guy from New Orleans, and he's got all this cocky gravitas. And Tom Brown, who's such a legend, is like, let me just see what you got, kid. And so like he plays, and then Tom Brown just basically stomps him. He's like, yep, Tom Brown's better. That is what it is. But you know, what he's saying the entire time is a lot of times people say, oh, that guy's a sellout. That guy's a sellout, because jazz is harder in some ways than other forms of music like pop, for sure. But he says if you go into making music condescending, you will fail, because you're not making art anymore. Art is connected. Art is truth. Whether it's pain or whether it's extreme joy, you still got to have respect for what you're doing. Oh my gosh, does that carry into every industry? Wow. Now, this book is currently getting a sub 4 rating. I would encourage you to make your own opinion. I looked at the folks that gave it a 3-star rating, and I'm just like, I don't know how you did it. It's like giving Einstein 3 stars. I mean, these are actual letters that Marsalis is writing, so that just is beyond me. Speed reading stats. This book is 119 pages. I read it in 19 minutes and highly recommend you play jazz in the background while you're doing it. It is an awesome book. I want to thank the New York Public Library for having this book on e-reader. Yes, so awesome. And also thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and otherwise supporting my efforts on this. I appreciate it so much. Have an awesome day. I'll see you tomorrow.